Safety warning, do not try this at home. Actually, try it at home because that's the whole point of the show. Season's greetings from the Taco Boss. Kicking back during the holidays, having a drink, watching boring cooking videos that suck. Well, cooking with cash rocks. Welcome to Cooking with Cash. I'm your host, Lumberjack Cash, the Taco Boss, award-winning chef, food truck owner, and tattoo enthusiast. Today, at home, I'm going to teach you in the next 5 minutes, with minimal cooking experience, how to make a pineapple pico stuffed ham with a chili cumin dry rub and a tamarind glaze. Southwest slaw with a chipotle lime Baja ranch. And last but not least, we have our drink du jour, is an eggnog slide, which is a fusion of eggnog and a mudslide put together. Tools you're going to need: a knife, and where's my knife? Oh, thank you. First step, take your ham out of the bag, rinse it off, and then dry it. We just pat it dry with a paper towel. Now here on your ham, you have bone-in ham. It has a lot more meat off of the side of the bone that you don't have to worry about carving into. And further on down the series of Cooking with Cash, we'll get into actually butchering and removing the bones. Take your knife and just mark yourself a little circle first. Don't go too deep, but you want to go about 3 fingers or 2 inches off of the bone. So start with just a small circle so you have your stencil. And then with your knife, gently push in, keeping your fingers up and tucked away. And get the knife to where it's almost through the other side. You don't want to pierce through because we want the pineapple stuffing to stay in there. And just gently follow the knife around, not using too much pressure. And don't dig too deep. You don't want the knife sliding through and end up cutting yourself. Now that the knife's angled this way, take it out and start back at the top. You always want to cut away from yourself and never towards yourself. So we just got this going here, and we're going to remove this cap. Now we switch to a paring knife and just dig in a little bit each way. Move the knife, keeping it away from you so you don't cut yourself. And now you can look in here and just carve away and remove as much meat as you want without piercing the other side of the ham. Next step, dry rub the ham. We're going to take 1 tablespoon and sprinkle over the ham. As you sprinkle, rub, sprinkle on the inside of the ham. We have a mixture of garlic, salt, pepper, onion, cumin, and chili powder. Take your 2nd tablespoon is all we're going to need. Just sprinkle liberally over the ham and just rub this in. Last side, flip the ham over and dress your ham. Massage the ham, spank the ham. Be kind to the ham, treat it with a little bit of respect. Pineapple pico ingredients: cilantro, we have 2 bunches here. 1 brown onion or yellow onion depending on the market. We have 1 large lime and 1 pineapple. You can tell ripeness sometimes by color, smell, feel, and if the petals pull out, just like that, the pineapple's ripe. Here's how you hold a knife. You don't hold a knife like this. You definitely don't hold a knife like this. You actually hold the knife by the blade itself, just above the butt of the knife. These 3 fingers are going to go on the handle, and your thumb and index finger are going to hold the knife here. So the knife should actually be loose in your hands. Bunch your cilantro together, pinch with your thumb and your pinky, and put the blade right there. As you move the blade, move your hand back. Your pinky and thumb are going to grab the next bunch of cilantro and move it on down. It's okay if you have stems in there. Stems actually have the most flavor in the cilantro. Next step, how to dice an onion properly. You're going to take your one end and slice off just a little bit. Here on the root end, you want to just barely cut through it. This is actually going to hold the onion together as you go along. Now set your onion down. You have a flat surface to work with. Take your knife again on your knuckle and slice straight through the onion. Face the onion towards yourself with the root away from you. Now you're just going to do small cuts with the knife. The knife's just going to go straight down like this. You're not actually going to cut through. And you'll see what happens. You just do little slices through here. Depending on how you like your onion, you can go thicker or you can go smaller for a large dice or a fine dice. Now you make one cut through, keep your fingers in cutting position, and gently slice through the middle of the onion, about 3/4 of the way. Turn your onion to the side, and now off your knuckle, right there, your onion is perfectly diced. Next step is the lime. Cut your lime in half. You don't need a juicer to do this. Dig your fingers right into the lime and give it a squeeze and juice it right in there. If you have little cuts on your fingers, you're gonna feel the sting, so wear gloves. If you don't have gloves, embrace the pain. It's just a lime. A pinch of salt, this is about 1/4 teaspoon, and some fresh ground pepper. Last step, mix together in a bowl. We're back. Dry your hands off, get yourself a spoon that's slotted. You want the juice from this pico to not be in there because the pineapple's already juicy enough. Take a nice ladle of that and put it right there in the middle. Make sure the spoon does not touch the ham because we want to reserve the other pico for later, and make sure that there's no chance of bacteria in there. Look at that. This stuff is going to cook and steam, and it's going to be beautiful. Now to the Chipotle Lime Baja Ranch. We are using Mexican cream. If you have to use regular sour cream, use light sour cream. This stuff's really great because it's a little bit thinner and it has much more flavor and it's less sour. So we're starting with 1 pound, which is your standard size cream container. See how thin and smooth this stuff is? We have 1 can of Chipotle sauce. So make sure if you get the Chipotle peppers in adobo that you need to have a food processor to blend them up or dice them really fine. But this stuff's already pureed and you don't have to do any of the work and it's the same price. 7.5 ounces of Chipotle sauce. We're gonna use the seasoning blend that we had earlier. It has the salt, pepper, garlic, onion. To make ranch, you need a dairy base. Most ranch powder is made with buttermilk cream seasoning, but since we already have a cream here, that's replacing the buttermilk powder. We're gonna use basil. Anytime you have fresh herbs, put in your hand and crush first. This is gonna release the oils that are in the dried herbs. So you need about a teaspoon of dried basil and then a tiny bit of paprika for color, and paprika is just dried red bell pepper. So don't be afraid to use it, and it's going to add a really bright, awesome color to this. Fresh lime, half of 1 large lime. Give it a stir, fold it in until mixed smooth and complete. Your finger taste, phenomenal. So you're just going to add the sauce to your mix. This is cabbage that we've already sliced, green cabbage, and now we're going to add red cabbage and half of 1 red onion, and that's how you make Baja Ranch. So the overdose will be sliced off the center of the cabbage. Place the core, you can see the core here. You don't want to slice through the core, you want to slice right around it. So slice through the core and slice off the other side of the core. The core is here on the bottom and it runs right in a pyramid style shape up through the cabbage. So remove the core. Just no sweet, one bite. Proper onion technique. This onion is already clean, the top's cut off, the root end is barely sliced off, and the onion is peeled. You want to get this ham to 140 minimum. We're going to take a temp check here. Make sure you use your thermometer. Go right into the meaty part of the ham. Our temp will read at 160. This thing's perfect. Let's get the glaze ready. The oven is now turned off. It's just going to sit in there. We're making a different glaze than you would normally get. This isn't your standard glaze. It's a tamarind glaze using just Jumex nectar. We're gonna reduce 2 cans of these down for about 20 minutes over medium heat. Bring it to a boil, reduce it down, and just let it go till it turns to a nice syrup. You guys hungry? I hope you are. Boy, it's cold up here at the North Pole.
Why don't I get a blanket?
Well, you're just the co-host.
Jackass.
Welcome to Drink Du Jour on Cooking with Cash. Today's drink is an eggnog slide. Rim the glass with chocolate syrup. Perfect. Second step, 2 ounces of vodka, 1 ounce of Irish cream, 1 ounce of coffee liqueur, 4 ounces of eggnog. Stir! Oh, stir! More in your glass. Whipped cream. 1 cinnamon stick. Perfect. Let's have a drink. Steady hands.
What about me?
You can't. You have alcohol class. Drinking with Cash. Thank you for watching the first episode of Cooking with Cash. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, show off, and from us at the church, have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and a Happy New Year. This episode is dedicated to Daniel Brannigan. Cheers, bro.